Our first message, Pastor, is from Winfa CV of Polangi, Albay. Good evening, Pastor. I've been following your messages via YouTube, and I learned a lot about the kingdom while on quarantine. I have a few questions to ask you, Pastor. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer them. First, Pastor, as the appointed Son of God, you are no stranger to bashing and ridicule, especially that your message runs contrary to the teachings of mainstream religions. Pastor, where do you derive strength to withstand all of these?
Uh, from Winfra of CB of Polangi, Albay. Um, when the Father calls you for something that is a ministry or a calling, or you have been chosen for some special work to do, like the prophets of old, the righteous men of old, the Father will see to it that He will equip you, not only physically, but most of all, spiritually. Equip you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally for that kind of a job that the Father will let you do as a mission, so that you will be able to withstand the rigors of the job that you are going to do for Him. It's just like, when you want to go through a body of water, and you as a human being, you are just equipped for the land, walking, riding, something like that. Or when you want to go through space, that is not your arena where you are comfortable. Only birds can fly in the space, only those that have wings. And only fish are suitable for the water. So that it's just normal and natural for them to swim and for the birds to fly. But if the Father will let you go through those and get you out of your comfortable zone, the Father will see to it that you will be able to do and equip you to do those things that He has asked for you to do. So when He called me to be His appointed Son, His audible voice upon the earth, to bear His name, to bear His words, to be a son and to Him, and I as my Father to Him, and He as a Father to me, and I as a Son to Him. I am the residence of the Almighty Father. The Father knows that it should be beyond your human capacity to do that. So, if He will leave you alone and give you a work for that kind of mission, then you will surely be heading to failure. And He didn't call you to be a failure. Just like a civilian that wants to go, that is drafted by the government to become a soldier. Before he can go through the test of war, or the hardships and sacrifices of war, he will be equipped first. He will be trained first to do the job that an ordinary civilian without training cannot do. So the government will equip you with proper training, how hard it is for you, how hard that mission calls for you to do. Then it is equivalent of how hard you will be trained for that kind of job for you to be able to survive. Just like athletics, just like, for example, an ordinary person, a normal person, a civilian, who is not a boxer, and if you want to go into the arena of boxing, you cannot be going into the arena or in the ring without proper training, or you will die and you cannot survive in just for a minute with a professional boxer. So you have to equip your body, yourself, your emotion, your mental in training. as our pambansang kamao said, I had to punish my body in training, or else I will be punished in the ring. So that ordinary civilians cannot do that without proper training. It is the same thing when he calls me as an appointed son. That's why he put me in 2 mountains in 6 years with those rigorous training that I had. First mountain is what I was detached from my comfort zone, from my friends, from those people in civilization where I was used to, traveling in highways with cars, with friends, with acquaintances, with my superiors. In cities, in towns, wherever, but I have a backup. When he called me for this certain mission to become an appointed son, first of all, he put me in Kitbug, that foothills of Mount Matutum in Malungon, South Cotabato. And in the 70s, that was really an uncivilized place. They don't even know the laws of the land. They have their own laws there, And I was detached from civilization. So I suffered, first of all, loneliness. It's like you were put in the middle of a desert without water or without anything that can comfort you. So the Father made me adjust to the situation. Become comfortable where you are not, first of all, comfortable. Adjust to the situation where you are. So that was my first training in receiving the message coming from the Father Almighty that He was really the one who called me. So the next is my Tamayo, where 5 years I was under intense fire. I call it the bread of affliction and the water of affliction and the bread of adversity in my 5 years. That was every day. I had to survive. Those are beyond the normal, ordinary circumstances of a civilian life. That's why if you see me right there in the middle of that fire, you would say, I'm crazy. Why do I have to suffer like that when I had the choice to move or go out or go back to my own natural life with denomination, where I feel comfortable, I feel in my comfort zone. Nothing of that's happening to me. Everybody left me. I have nothing. I was just eating bananas for those 5 years. But I know it was the Father's will for me to be there. So I had to overcome all of those so that I would be able to do the things the Father would like me to do when He sends me out of that mountain. So I passed the test with flying colors. Every day it was fire. Every day it was persecution. Every day it was like climbing a high mountain. That was every day for those 5 years, non-stop. And I was able to survive and overcome. The Father strengthened me and my freedom of choice to go through it, using my freedom of choice. So I was equipped. And after those 5 years there, I heard His voice and said, now you are my son. So He is now going to use me. Send me to all the world. I have children, sons and daughters all over the world. I'll send you. You don't know them, they don't know you. But when they hear your voice, they will follow you because my sheep know my voice. So I went and I brought His words. Now He is living in me. He is the one talking through me. The words I speak not of myself now, but the Father that lives in me. I am now His residence. You know what that means? That's a big responsibility. All humanity will be persecuting you. All humanity will be burning you. All humanity will be bashing you, especially those in the church age, where denominations and religions are, uh, manifesting themselves to be the truth. So you now come out and then you say, I am the appointed Son. You know, like the begotten Son when he was manifested 2,000 years ago. What did they do to him? You know what happens? Look at the passion of the Christ. So if he is not equipped as a human being to do that, he won't be able to survive it and go to the cross and say, it is finished. He might have quit in the middle of it. And in the same vein, in the spiritual component of this ministry that was entrusted to me, I had to suffer the same. The only difference is that, there is no more crucifixion. But in the same vein, when they bust you, it's like crucifying you every day. It's like persecuting you or, putting those stripes on your back every day. And if I was not trained to do the things and to be equipped for this job, this work that the Father gave to me, I won't be able to survive the 35 years where all I have was hardships, bashing, fire, persecution. Because I graduated from that. So He equipped me. I'm like an airplane that can now fly in the sky, where where an ordinary human being cannot go. But He equipped me to fly through space. I'm like a fish in the sea. I was equipped to swim. And I was equipped now to be able to survive all of these hardships that the devil put in front of me, using people who are full of the serpent seed, who cannot accept my message, which is the message of Jesus Christ that I am delivering to the whole world. And it's a big responsibility to say, I am the appointed Son of God. I am His audible voice. I am His residence. I am His love. He now lives in me. You don't have to go through. He left the church age because what they were saying was that their religion is true. Their buildings are the houses of God, which now was exposed. And when you expose those lies and deception, what will you get in turn? They will burn you. They will burn you with bashing, with malignity, with false accusations. Everything will be thrown at you. So if I am just a civilian and was not equipped for this work, I won't be able to survive. But I'm surviving until now. There's nothing that is put in front of me that I am not able to overcome, because He put me into those two mountains in 6 years for the same purpose, that I will be facing the same demonic forces when I am sent into the whole world to gather all of His children, sons and daughters, who will be listening to my voice. So that is where I get all this strength. Where does a soldier get his strength? From his training. He was trained so that he could experience all the hardships in life, so that when he faces the battle in the battlefield, he won't be crying for mother, he won't be crying for his father to save him. He will be there. He will be standing on his ground, defending his ground, and that is when, the Father can trust you, that you can stand for the truth, no matter what. Your heart is fixed, mind made up. No matter what, even if the whole world is against you, you have to stand for the truth that the Father gave you, which are His words. These words are the hope of humanity. These words are the ones that will judge us in the last days. So, if I was not equipped for that, I would succumb to the temptations. I would succumb to the hardships. I would not be brave enough to face all these criticisms, these persecutions, these bashings. Just some other people are not equipped to do that. They would cave in and say, compromise. That's it, But He equipped me for that, so that no matter what, I will stand for the words of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I will deliver them without compromise. I will deliver the unadulterated words of the Almighty Father that in the church age they covered, they twisted, they set aside, they changed. That has all been corrected right now. Because I delivered them to you straight to the point. And people crucified me for that. But I am equipped to face all this just because I am now the appointed son who was trained to do this mission he gave me to do. This is the reason why I was in those 2 mountains for 6 years. And used my freedom of choice to do that. Praise the Father.